know that Thea became the first female athlete from Dominica to claim a medal at the World Outdoor Championships and is only the second Dominican to achieve such a feat, with Jerome Romain having earned a bronze in the men's triple jump 3 decades ago in Sweden. Of course, she has secured a silver medal at the World Outdoor Championships 2025. And did you know that Thea Lafont-Gatson achieved another milestone in her athletics career, this time off the field, as she became the first Dominican athlete to be elected to the World Athletics Athletes Commission. Today on Did You Know, we salute Thea Lafont-Gatson on her achievements both on and off the field. Did You Know made possible compliments at the good folks of Quartz Dominica Limited.
Like water flowing from the mountaintop, this is the sound of DBS.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning, eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: a flood warning in effect for portions of the island. Schools have been closed today as Dominica has been impacted by a tropical wave. In news from the region, the Dominican Republic Navy recovers 1 ton of cocaine after the U.S. bombs smuggling boat. And on the international scene, the U.S. President Donald Trump to address the United Nations General Assembly after France recognizes Palestinian state. Good morning, I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Are you tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, a flood warning has been issued for portions of the island. Flood watch for the southern part of the island as Dominica is being impacted by a tropical wave. Well, the Met Office issued a statement a short while ago.
Annie Corred Joseph, the Dominica Meteorological Service. Moisture and instability associated with a tropical wave is expected to continue producing moderate to heavy shower at times across the island. A significant increase in shower activity is also expected as we move into tonight. So far, some stations along the north and eastern parts of the island have recorded over 50 millimeters of rainfall within the last 3 hours. Rainfall totals expected to be over 50 to 100 millimeters during the course of the day. A flood warning is currently in effect for the northern and eastern parts of the island, while a flood watch is in effect for areas across the south. And this is valid from 6 a.m. to 12 noon today. Possible extensions and upgrades are possible during the course of the day. Expect flash floodings in low-lying areas, swollen rivers and streams, landslides and rock falls along unstable slopes, hazardous driving conditions due to reduced visibility and slippery roads. Residents, pedestrians, and those in vulnerable areas are advised to exercise extreme caution during the course of the day. From the Dominica Meteorological Service, I am Annie Corrette Joseph.
And that was Annie Corrette Joseph of the Dominica Met Office. Of course, the announcement earlier today from the Minister for Education, Octavia Alfred, there is no school as well. Schools have been closed as a result of the inclement weather. The Met Office is also advising people to log on to their website at www.weather.gov.dm and search Dominica Met, to follow on Facebook as well to get more information as it relates to the weather. And you can also tune in or stay tuned to your favorite nation station for weather updates. Some more news this morning. A parade in the streets of Roseau on Saturday afternoon will mark the opening of the 47th anniversary of independence. Chief Cultural Officer Urson Matthew told a special DBS program on Monday afternoon that the parade in the streets of Roseau was successful last year and that they're hoping to stage the event in a bigger way on Saturday.
Well, last year, for the first time, we did the official opening parade. Of course, the day before that, we did the ceremony because we've heard the complaints that people don't like, the speeches after the road and all of that. So we did the official opening and then the parade last year. And the parade was a success. It was a hit, I could say. People enjoyed it. And what we're going to do this year is build on that. So, we take note of things that needed improvement and things that worked well, and we're just going to keep building on that. I mean, there are things that we didn't feature. I could say things like the marching band aspect. If you remember Independence back in the days before the World Creole Music Festival, the highlight of the Independence season was actually the street parade, the military parade. So, I mean, the festival has grown and so on, and I don't want to say eclipsed, but the focus is more on that. But we plan to include that element of the marching band. So we have the cadet corps with us. If we're talking improvements from last year, we didn't feature dance so heavily last year. So we're going to feature ballet on the road. We're going to feature the European round dances on the road with live amplified traditional bands backing them up. We had 2 last year. We're going to double on that this year. We're going to feature a float done by Dexia and the local government division, which will highlight Market Day for Difference, because that's another important part of the independence season, and many other things. And their float will be like more a simulation of a market day. So, the market stand and the produce and all of that, they'll be doing all of that. We'll have a float featuring Wato, because we didn't feature the cuisine aspect of our culture so heavily last year. So you can tell the amount of new things that we're going to do.
Chief Cultural Officer Urson Matthew. Mr. Matthew is encouraging the public to use the Creole wear as they celebrate the 47th anniversary of independence.
But for the public now, we're asking the public to wear their madras on Saturday. So we want to make it inclusive, just come and watch. You are part of it because you have to dress the part as well. Look the part. We're looking to start at 3, we end at 8. And the route will be similar to last year for the most part. We will start at Pottersville Savannah, if you want to call it that, or the basketball court, if you want to call it that, or the parking lot, if you want to call it that, outside the St. Alphonsus Church. That's our start point. And we come to the city. And in the city, for the most part, we'll be following the carnival route. So we will come down Independence Street, King George Fifth Street, Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard, Kennedy Avenue. But when you get to Great George Street by Payless, we make a left onto Great George Street, and all the way to the bridge, we take a left onto the promenade, which is different from last year. Last year, we went through the market and came up.
And that was the Chief Cultural Officer, Urson Matthew. Some more news this morning. The September Criminal Assizes opened in Dominica yesterday with 13 men arraigned on a range of serious offences, including sexual crimes, murder and causing death by dangerous driving. Presiding over the sit-in was the acting High Court Judge, Her Ladyship Sejila McDowell. At the arraignment, there was only one guilty plea.
Sexual offences dominated the days preceding, with 5 men arraigned on related charges. Among them, a man from a southern community pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual connection with an 8-year-old child in 2022. He's currently remanded at the Dominica State Prison and is scheduled to be sentenced on October 27, 2025. Of the remaining 4 accused, 1 was also remanded into custody, while the remaining 3 others had their bail extended. 2 men were also arraigned for causing death by dangerous driving. Giovanni Von Benoit Garwe pleaded not guilty to the charge, which stemmed from the June 6, 2018 death of 10-year-old Natalia Matthew, who was struck by a pickup truck he was driving at Bath Estate. John Christopher also pleaded not guilty to causing the death of Joan Avis Robinson on August 1, 2022 at Lago Portsmouth. The indictment alleges that Robinson died after Christopher, while driving a Yamaha motorcycle, operated the vehicle in a manner dangerous to the public. Both men, represented by attorneys Wayne Norday and Gina Abraham Thomas, had their bail continued and will return to court for case management. 1 murder indictment was also brought forward. Christian Yannick Blanc, represented by attorney Tihani B. Hansen, pleaded not guilty to the August 15, 2023 murder of Jason Sorrento at Tetmont Granby. Blanc remains on remand and is scheduled to return to court on September 24 for case management. In another matter, Cohen later pleaded not guilty to wounding Stephen Andrew with intent to cause grievous bodily harm during an incident in Portsmouth on October 11, 2023. Represented by attorney Glenn Ducree, later's bail was further extended. 2 men, Elton Joseph and Jeremiah Moranci, were jointly indicted for causing grievous bodily harm to Jovan Joseph at Emsall on May 5, 2023. Both entered not guilty pleas and had their bail continued. The list also included the arraignment of Steve Dorival Jr., who pleaded not guilty to shooting Curlson Langford with intent to cause grievous bodily harm during an incident in Tarish Pit on May 12, 2019. Dorival remains on bail and is expected to return to court for case management. A theft charge was also heard. Antonian Charles of Taru, arraigned for stealing a 10-carat Gucci link necklace valued at $10,810 from Donald Javier on December 20, 2023. He remains remanded at the Dominica State Prison pending trial. With the exception of the single guilty plea, all other accused are scheduled to return to court on September 24, 2025 for case management prior to their trial. Director of Public Prosecution Shoma Darampal and State Attorney Kevin Julian appeared for the state during the arraignment. Ronaldo Luke Pascal reporting for DBS News.
And we say thanks to Ronaldo Luke Pascal for that report. The President of Dominica, Excellency Savani Burton, will join world leaders in New York for the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly this week. The session is being held under the theme, Better Together, 80 Years and More for Peace, Development and Human Rights. President Burton will address the General Assembly on Thursday. The President will focus on the critical global challenges confronting the international community, including poverty, inequality, peace and justice, climate change and resilience, as well as the weakening of multilateral cooperation. Her Excellency will also speak to the consequences of underdevelopment, conflict, wars, and the negative effects of economic sanctions and trade restrictions, which weigh most heavily on small island developing states such as Dominica. President Burton is leading Dominica's delegation to the Assembly and is being accompanied by a spouse, the First Gentleman, Mr. Gilbert Burton, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Vince Henderson, Dominica's permanent representative to the United Nations, His Excellency Philbert Aaron, the Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, His Excellency Kelvadaru, and Consul Mr. Sheldon Anthony Peter. Through a participation at the United Nations General Assembly, President Burton will reaffirm Dominica's commitment to advancing dialogue, strengthening global cooperation, and ensuring that voices and concerns of small island nations are heard on the world stage. In the absence of President Burton from the state, Her Excellency Josette Matthew will discharge the duties of acting President of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says a government's investment in the fishing sector seeks to empower livelihoods for local fishermen. The government of Dominica officially commissioned new fish landing sites in Dubla and Bioche, valued at a cost of $330,000 EC yesterday.
So this project is really an advancement of the government's commitment to the fisher folk in Dominica. And sometimes you will hear yourself as fishermen, and of course we live in a small country and we hear everything and we know everything, that oftentimes the government, and of course myself in particular as the Prime Minister who is leading the charge in these matters, will be criticized by saying we're giving people things for free. But this is not about freeness, it's about ensuring that we empower people with the means of taking care of themselves and their families. And because we appreciate as a government how difficult it is for anyone to be out there 6, 7, 20 miles out. Sometimes you guys make the error go by yourselves, out there seeking to make a living. And there are times the day is good and there are times it's bad. And so we as a government always recognize that we need to give you that helping hand, that hand up, so that you can see this as an investment in yourself and your family and treat your trade as a business.
And that was Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Julian Defoe, says the facilities will provide better access for fisher folks within the community.
So on this site you will see two main buildings. This one immediately in front of us houses the ice machine, and the second building houses the locker room buildings, and upstairs of these locker room buildings is the new component which will house an office facility, and also I think the group has intention to do vending of fishing equipment and whatever type of enterprising activity they may want to get into. Most people think, well, this is just a physical space, but a physical space is where it starts. This is the genesis of other type of economic activity. The group not having an appropriate area so that it can function, it can keep its books, it can keep its meetings, it can engage with not only the fisher folk, but the general public, is an important space. It is not just an area that only one set of people reside, but this area has now become a public space, like a community center, like the school, like a health center.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Julian Defoe. Well, let's head into news from the region this morning. Authorities in the Dominican Republic say they have seized 1 ton of cocaine from a speedboat that the U.S. Navy bombed in the Caribbean waters. The National Directorate for Drug Control, the DNCD, said 377 packages of cocaine were recovered in a joint Dominican-U.S. mission. While officials said the boat was destroyed about 80 miles south of Beta Island off the Dominican Republic coast. The seizure comes as the U.S. has stepped up its military presence in the region. Warships, drones, and even a submarine were deployed in September as part of President Donald Trump's anti-drug drive. And on the international scene, the U.S. President Donald Trump is due to address the United Nations General Assembly today, as will the leaders of key regional players in the Middle East, such as Jordan and Qatar. On Monday, the United States did not attend a one-day summit hosted by France and Saudi Arabia, which focused on plans for a two-state solution to the conflict between Israel and Palestine. Well, fellow G7 states, Germany and Italy, were also absent. Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta, Andorra, and San Marino are also due to recognize a Palestinian state after the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Portugal announced recognition on Sunday, with France also announcing recognition yesterday. International pressure is ramping up on Israel over the unfolding humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the settlement building in the West Bank. Israel has said recognition would reward Hamas for the Palestinian armed group's October 7th, 2023 attack on southern Israel, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 251 people were taken hostage. Well, that's the news. A quick recap of the headlines. A flood warning is in effect for portions of Dominica, a flood watch for the southern part of Dominica, and no school today as Dominica battles a tropical wave. News from the region, we heard that the Dominican Republic is reporting that they've seized a ton of cocaine following a U.S. Navy bombing of a speedboat in Caribbean waters, and the U.S. President Donald Trump to address the United Nations General Assembly later today. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Yummy. Yummy. Looking for something sweet, chewy, delicious, or even crunchy? We've got you covered. Mars and Wrigley's products are the perfect pick for all your sweet tooth cravings. Available in M&M's, Twix, Milky Way, Snickers, Skittles, and even gummies. So next time your cravings are at an all-time high, choose Mars and Wrigley's.
Available at Fine Foods Inc. distribution or your favorite supermarket island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your mobile banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Welcome to the Morning Sports. Let's begin with news that the president of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Billy Doctorov, has praised Thea Lafogadson for her latest achievements both on and off the track. Well, Thea last week secured a silver medal at the World Athletics Championships in Japan, and on the weekend she became the first Dominican athlete to be elected to the World Athletics Athletes Commission. Doctorov says that Thea continues to demonstrate that Dominica can produce winners in all aspects.
It shows that she is well on her way back from the surgery that she did last year, and we expect that she will be in her peak of physical and mental preparation for the LA Games in 2028. I also would like to congratulate her on her election as a member of the Athletes Commission of World Athletics. I think it's a major appointment for Tia, and a Dominican, and it shows quite clearly that the other athletes have a lot of regard and respect for her. A member of the Olympic Solidarity contacted me to tell me it also shows that the rest of the Olympic committees and the athletes again have a great regard for the Dominica Olympic Committee, the way that we have governed our affairs, and in particular, having great consideration for our financial accountability. So I want to congratulate her. I know that she can do a very good job, and we are confident that she can go out there and represent athletes all over the world, because, as I said, it's a major appointment for Tia and for Dominica, and I wish her well. I'm confident that she can do a great job, and we wish her success in her tenure as a member of the Athletes Commission.
And that's President of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Billy Doctorov. Head coach of the Aspirers Athletics Club, Nabi Wallace, says he is pleased with his club's start to the 2025 Dominica Athletics Association Road Race Series. Well, the series got underway on Sunday in Portsmouth. The Aspirers dominated the event, winning 11 of the 16 categories, and they also walked away with over 20 medals.
Aspirers walked away with 11 gold medals from the 16 gold medals up for grabs. Adding to their overall medal tally of 24 medals was 7 silver and 6 bronze medals. These results demonstrated the effectiveness of the sports division summer athletics program. Some of the most outstanding performances came from our 3 clean sweep victories in the 1KU 11 boys. Trayvon Valerie, Anoel Edwards, and Javon Basil made it a 1-3 for Aspirers in impeccable times. We also had a clean sweep in the 2K under 13 boys, with Omari Caesar, Reynold Frank, and Michael Charles finishing first, second, and third place respectively. In the 3KU 17 boys category, this was projected to be a hotly contested event, but it was Jaden Joseph, Drensky Klejon, and Ezekiel Brumant from the Aspirers Athletics Club, which made it a clean sweep, going 1-3. Special mention must be made of our little pocket rocket, Miss Esther Frank, who dominated the field in the 1K for the U11 girls. Finally, we highlight Miss Luan Gabriela, who is now in her second year back in track and field. She made light work of the open 5K category, running in fine form.
And that's the head coach of the Aspirers Athletics Club, Nabi Wallace. Other winners from the event on the weekend, we had Neola Aline of the Striders Athletics Club. She won the girls under 17 competition. That's a 3-kilometer race. We had Kurthin Latham of the Pioneers Athletics Club. He won the male category. That's a 5-kilometer race. And Charles Joseph of the Striders, he won the Masters division. Let's go to some cricket news as the former West Indies women's player Pearl Etienne picked up 4 wickets, leading the Emerald Stars women's team to a 3-run win over their male counterparts, the Casuals Cricket Club, as the Central Cooperative Credit Union Dominica Cricket Association's Intermediate Cricket League continued on the weekend. Emerald Stars batted first. They made 125 all out in 34.1 overs. The former West Indies under-19 player Bini Seja, she got 30. Anisha Fontaine got 18 and Pearl Etienne 16. Keoma Telemark picked up 4 for 27 and Shamwa Blah 2 for 20 for the Casuals Cricket Club. Needing 126 to win, the Casuals were bowled out for 122, with Kent Joseph getting 32 and Ronnie McGlaw 27. Pearl Etienne, she took 4 for 19 and Jennifer Gasper 3 for 25. The Emerald Stars won by 3 runs, picking up their first ever win in the Intermediate League, and they defeated the men's team the Casuals Cricket Club. Well, I'm sure the Casuals probably won't want to have that on their record books. In some other results from the weekend, the Adam Sanford Kalinago Blasters, they secured a 105-run win over the Penville Gladiators. Blasters made 179 for 2 batting first. We had the West Indies under-19 batsman Osinio Fontaine getting 83 and Dione Roll 63 not out. Jamie John Baptist, he picked up 1 for 24 for the Gladiators. And the Penville side, they were dismissed for 74 in reply, with for Christmas getting 3 for 6, Joel Dura 2 for 15, and Osinio Fontaine 2 for 6. In other results from the weekend, Rubens Bakery Christians also picked up a win over the KFC Summits. Let's bring you some chess news this morning as chess grandmaster and director for chess development at the International Chess Federation, Nigel Short, says he's impressed with the progress that Dominica has made in the game of chess. Short, who is here on a visit, says that the work from the Dominica Chess Federation has been commendable. He says that he's excited with what he's seen so far.
I'm here actually for the second time. I visited 4 years ago, and at that time there was no federation. So the federation was established shortly after my visit. It has been expanding since then. The federation has sent teams to different international events. It sent players to different tournaments in the region. So it is growing, and this visit is just to give it an additional boost, to raise the profile of the game and to encourage more people to get involved. I think this is one of the things which is really important, and especially we are interested in the youth. Of course, we're interested in anybody who plays chess, but in particular the youth, because chess is a young person's game.
And that's the chess grandmaster and also the director for chess development at the International Chess Federation, Nigel Short, who's here in Dominica on a visit. And he visited the St. Mary's Academy among some of the other schools yesterday. And I'm sure you'll have a lot more visit for schools and interactions with the Chess Federation in the coming days. But that's where we'll come to the end of the DBS Morning Sports Report. Of course, we'll have some more sporting updates for you and news updates as well during the morning news update at 11 o'clock. You can also stay tuned for the 13:50 news as well. And you also want to stay tuned to DBS Radio, as we will have updates throughout the course of the morning as it relates to the weather. Remember, a flood warning is in effect for the north and areas of the east. A flood watch in effect for the southern communities of Dominica. There's no school as well. Schools will be closed today. That includes the Dominica State College, as we heard there from the Minister of Education, Octavia Alfred. That's the morning news and sports. We'll see you later. I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, Contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
DBS News. Accurate, up-to-date, professional. We bring you the news of the nation via 3 newscasts, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. The DBS Major Morning News, 1:15 p.m. Your lunchtime news bulletin, and at 6 in the evening, the DBS Evening News. Call us at